Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Bear Bard Tales. It is I, the one bear who, despite having no singing ability, decided in a career as a bard that may be asked to sing. The Bear Bard. Remember high school when everything was so important and edgy? Well, today's story is from that time in OP's life, and you'll get to see those influences. But first, if you like this type of content and want some more Bear Bard in your life, make sure to slap that subscribe button. Every sub I get gets me one step closer to making my own TTRPG called Bears and Dragons. It's actually just Drake and I just chilling. You know, having a good time, maybe some epic adventures, maybe Crow stops by for lunch, who knows. For now though, let's get started. Today's story is titled, The Worst Character I've Ever Played With. When I was in high school, I was part of a D&D club and we had some fun playing campaigns after school. When a campaign finished, people would often change up the groups they played with and meet new people, making it a nice way to make new friends. But not everyone I played with was super fun or friendly. Foreshadowing. One campaign, I joined a group that was actually mostly people I knew from other classes, including one guy I knew who loved playing D&D and would sometimes talk about cool characters he made. Little did I know that his characters were an acquired taste. We started the first session describing a little about our characters so the DM could know how to put us together. We all started at level 3. I was a Dragonborn Eldritch Knight fighter. We had a Halfling Thief Rogue, a Human Paladin of the Ancients, a Human Evocation Wizard, and our Shepherd Druid Elf made by the guy who knew D&D well. He specifically said that his character was one that hated humans and the other races because they hurt wildlife and whatnot. To us, it sounded on brand for a druid to prefer animals to humans, so we didn't think much about it. And here we have our first potential red flag. I want to put extra emphasis on the potential here, because the direction this goes varies wildly player by player. As an example, one of the guys at my table right now is playing a very similar backstory. Circle Druid that's an animal lover and hates people. He even dislikes other elves. He's, obviously an elf. But when he's presented with a situation to join the group and work with them, he made it work within his character. We didn't have to beg him to join, or have to work around the fact that he needed to be an edgy loner. He made joining the group work. And now he's on a journey of growth as a character, learning about other people and the city life. The whole thing takes place in Waterdeep, and he's from the deep wilderness. The problem with this background in other games is when the player is far too married to the idea of hating people and refusing to work together. If you want to play a TTRPG at a table with others, you need to work with them, not against them. I don't care how edgy and cool your character is. Once the campaign started, the DM threw us right into the thick of it. We all started off in the classic tavern scene, but could soon hear screaming outside. We go and see animated skeletons attacking the town, burning buildings, attacking the poor villagers who barricaded themselves inside the church, and a big one dragging off the mayor with him. With so much going on, we split into teams. I cast the jump spell on myself, and basically long jump to 1v1 the big guy. Wizard, Paladin, and Rogue run to stop the horde of smaller guys attacking the people, while Druid goes to the jail that is apparently burning down with all the prisoners inside. Now, we have all already agreed, in character I might add, that since the druid knows create water, he should cast that to stop the fire. Instead, as he gets there, he asks the DM, "Are there any animals in the building?" The DM thinks for a moment and says, "Guard dog is still chained up inside," thinking it'll encourage the player to put out the fire. "Nope, I run inside and look for the dog." The druid says, and the paladin, out of character, asks, "Why don't you just put out the fire?" The druid just shrugs and says, "My character would want the dog to be safe first." DM just rolls with it and makes him roll a constitution saving throw for the smoke, which he fails and takes poison damage. He unchains the dog, takes it outside, and on his next turn, plays with it? This is when the party had a few more words to say about it, specifically about how he was a chaotic good druid who was allowing people to burn to death when he had the power to put out the fires. It got into a weird debate where he kept trying to say his character just wasn't motivated enough to cast a level 1 spell like we discussed, and doesn't even bother to try to help us out either. We eventually give up on trying to convince this guy to actually do something other than mess around. and the wizard tries to break away from his battle to use some cold spells on the jail to stop the fire. But by the time he gets there, the DM describes the jail collapsing and killing everyone inside. This puts the party in a pretty bad mood, but the rest of the encounter goes okay. We quickly find out that Druid wasn't kidding when he said he liked animals better than humans. For the rest of the session, any encounters we had, unless the enemy was actively kicking puppies during the fight, the Druid would absolutely do nothing to help us, saying his character was okay with all of us dying to bandits or the undead because we weren't arbitrarily considered animals. See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, why at that point even show up? Combat can take forever, and the best part is knowing that just around the corner, it's your turn to light it up. But this guy is so committed to being a prick, he's just like, nah, I'll chill while y'all take care of this. At that point, just go home. Literally everyone in the situation, including yourself, would be better off for it. This leads to the end of the session, where we are wrapping things up as we follow the storyline into another town. The thing is, we get both a bad survival and luck roll, and encounter something on the way to the city. The DM ended up rolling a pack of angry wolves. Now, we've only had 2 full encounters so far, and both of them we fought things that were not beasts of any kind. Now, we are up against wolves, and the Druid steps up to try to pacify them with an animal friendship spell cast on the alpha wolf. The wolf passes his save and attacks the Druid. The rest of this take this as a time to fight moment, but the Druid player describes his character being absolutely appalled by our killing of these innocent wolves who are clearly trying to kill us. He tries to say something noble like, "You guys are the real animals," but we were so fed up with him at this point that we just ignored him. That's when he casts Ice Knife and hit me dead on with it, dealing a surprising amount of damage with it, and my Dragonborn was bronze, so he wasn't resistant to the cold damage. Both in and out of character, I was so mad that I had my guy turn around and rush full speed at this guy on his next turn. I had both my breath weapon and my action surge still up, so I used both. Action surging to get in range with my breath weapon before tearing into him with my axe. It was the most damage I had done the entire game, and this guy's character was literally so low, if I'd gotten another swing in, I might have killed him. Instead, he takes the dash action, as I take an attack of opportunity at him, just barely miss, and he runs off into the woods from my character. The guy describes his character cursing us out as he left. We finish the encounter and get to the city, and end the session pretty quickly after that. The player looks at the DM and asks, "So how do you want to bring back my character?" Since in these games, we often come up with fun ways to bring back dead or otherwise MIA characters. Bro, you're seriously gonna be difficult as hell, not help out your squad, then freaking turn on them and attack starting some very unwanted PvP? Then have the freaking audacity to look this DM in the eye and say, "Cool, how do we get him back?" That's a crazy level of pure unaware I have trouble fathoming. Like, I get that some people have trouble reading a room, but I feel like this dude could get hit by the no shit train and still be clueless. The DM just looks at him and lays into him. Using the guy's own logic, he basically explains that neither his druid or the party will want to work together ever again. His character would forever hate them for killing his precious forest creatures, while my character would just try to kill him again for trying to betray the party. Either way, the druid was gone and the guy needed a new character to finish the campaign with. The next time the club got together, the guy had a cleric who was more helpful but still kind of one note at times, with some weirdly specific motivations. Still, it was clear that he had learned his lesson about being a jerk to the party. And while he might have found it funny at the time, none of us enjoyed what he did. So it just goes to show, even people who seem experienced in a game can still be jerks or make awful characters. I've said it time and time again, and I'll continue to say it. You have to find a reason to work with your group. If you want to play a cooperative game, you need to cooperate. I actually happened across this meme right before I finished the script, and it perfectly sums up what I'm saying. See how happy he is? Just think, would this piss me off if somebody else in the party did it? Yes? Cool, don't do the thing. Also, if you support PETA and want to try playing D&D or one of the many other fantasy TTRPGs, I challenge you not to play as a druid. Just try it once and see what happens when you don't make being PETA part of your character's whole personality. And no, a ranger with an animal companion does not count. Ooh, was that a spicy take from your friendly neighborhood bear bard? Maybe. So I'll just leave it there and move on to this week's bear fact. Sloth bears are myrmecophagous, meaning that they specialize in eating termites and ants. In fact, roughly half their diet in the wild is made up of termites and ants, the other half being fruits and seeds. Also, Baloo from the Jungle Book was a sloth bear, and the Bare Necessities was a banger, so there's that. But I think that's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me till the end. It means a ton to me. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to connect with me outside of YouTube, you can connect with me on Discord, Reddit, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also check out the Bear Bard Tales podcast if that's your sort of thing. For now though, this has been the Bear Bard. Stay kind, stay beautiful, and keep on living that bard life.